Okay, hi everyone. Guess what? We're doing another DIY project. So I'll flip this camera around. I'll show you what I'm working on today. Okay, so we installed these blinds quite a while ago, and the windows just got done today. We're very happy with them. So now that we had to reinstall the blinds, because we had to take them off for the window installation, now we're putting them back. And I've decided to go ahead and do the trimming on the bottom of the blinds. You can see on the left, there's about 5 slots too many. On some windows there's more than that. We had to remove up to about 8 blinds just to shorten them. The one on the right has already been done. The one on the left is the last one that I need to do, and I wanted to do a little video on it to kind of give, maybe this will help somebody out and you guys want to see what we're doing here. So the one on the right's already done, and you don't want to take it all the way to the very last one. You want to have a couple extra left so that when you lift it up, it sits in the channel, and then when you go to tilt the blinds in or out, that it doesn't take the bottom and rock the bottom. You want the bottom to stay flat. So good measure is to go 3 blinds down and to keep those blinds and then take the rest off. So that's what we're doing over here. Okay, so here's how we go ahead and do this. You're going to need a pair of scissors, possibly a screwdriver. A flat tip screwdriver is helpful. And I have a hammer here too, and I'll show you what I do with them. I don't always need them, but I have them handy so I don't have to get back up. Because, as you get older, sitting down and getting back up, your knees, not fun. So you want to get down, you get down one time. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start this. So what you do is you pull the blind all the way down. Now these are the self-leveling blinds. In other words, there's not a tether that you pull to lift them up. This is the ones you just push up and they retract themselves and they'll sit. And these are the larger blinds, not the mini blinds. But they kind of all work the same way. But these do work differently because you have to push them up, and they're not the pull cord style. So first what you do is I take out the slats that I'm going to take out. So these just pull right out. You can just pull them right out the side. And I already know I'm pulling out 5 of them. So that these 4 windows right here along the back of the house are all the same size. So I already know I'm going to be pulling out 5. That's 3. They got these little notches in them, as you can see right there. So all you gotta do is just kind of move them around a little bit, and they'll come free. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. One more is 5. Okay. Now very carefully here, because if you cut the wrong thing, it's gonna be a bad day. So the ladder strings here have a little loop. You can see the loop where it's tied to the lifting strings. I'm just going to call them lifting strings. If you miscut and cut these lifting strings, it's going to be very difficult to make this repair. You'll probably end up going to the store and having to get another set of blinds. So all we're doing is cutting the loop. Do not cut the lifting strings. Leave them alone. So we're just cutting the loop here that links the ladder. I'm going to call this a ladder. It's what it looks like. So we're cutting the loops that tie them to the lifting string. And we're going to do this on both sides. All the way down. And then you do the same thing on the other side. Being very careful not to cut that lifting string or the power string, because that string has tension on it. If you cut that, probably what would happen is the blind would just fall to the ground. So we got all the sides cut here. Now we're going to start cutting the ladder. You're going to be keeping the 2 outside strings. You're going to keep those. all you're doing is you're cutting the ladder out, just like so. Now you could leave these tethered strings on the side, it wouldn't hurt anything, and you'll see why. They'll end up getting tucked into this bottom rail, but they kind of get in your way, so it's just easier to cut them right now, right here, because you just grab it, you make it taut, and you give a good cut on it, and that's all you gotta do. They're pretty easy to cut free. Okay, so that one's done. So these blinds have 3 sets of vertical strings. Some have 5, some have 4, some have 2. Only the outside ones have the powerlifting string on it. So the middle one you don't have to be so careful about. I mean, you still don't want to cut the wrong thing, but there's no tension string that you have to worry about. So with this one, all you're doing is you're cutting the ladder out. And I have a trash can right here, so I just dropped the strings right in the trash can. And then the very last one here on the left. Again, cut your loops first. Being very careful. Always look twice, cut once. Make sure you don't have that string in your scissors, because these blinds are not real cheap. You don't want to have to run to the store and buy new ones. And fixing that string, if you cut it down by the rail, you probably have enough extra string in the rail that you'd be able to fix it. But if you cut it too high, you may not have enough string. They give you just enough, maybe a little extra in the rail. And you'll see when I open up the rail what I'm talking about. It's better just to take your time and don't cut that string. Now, you don't have to do this to your blinds. The kitchen blind was really long. Like, I took like 10 slats out of that one. It was ridiculous. But it'll have a cleaner appearance, just a neater appearance. You won't have so many blinds stacked up on the sill of the window. And it'll just look neater. And this isn't really hard to do. You can, only one person can do it. You just got to be kind of careful with what to cut and what not to cut. Got one more here. Okay. Okay, those are all done. So your next step now is you have to take one end off of the rail. It doesn't matter which one you do. The screwdriver comes in handy here. So you just take it and twist it. Hopefully you don't break it. I haven't broke one yet, but you just take the end cap off. Like so. There's a thin rail here that just slides out. Slide that out. And here you're going to see your strings. So can you see the thinner strings? Not these loose ones I just cut, but the thinner strings inside. Those are under pressure. Those are the ones that when you lift and pull down on the thing, But you can see there's just a little bit of excess in there where you could untie this knot and retie a knot. But it would be a big hassle. Excuse me. So, now what you have to do is you have to pop these little things out. Now these strings have tension on them, so this is what makes it a little tricky. Because when I lift it up here to do this, the string is going to want to pull. But what you have to do is, there's these little buttons on the bottom. You can push them from the top. Sometimes they'll come right out. This one did. Or sometimes you have to use the screwdriver and the hammer and give it a little encouragement. But this one came out by hand. So what you're doing is you're going to take these strings that you just cut and pull it all the way up the rail, pull it all the way up to the last rung on the ladder. The last rung. So I left one, let's see, yeah, one. So the bottom rung. So right there you're going to pinch it on the side so you can hold it in place, tension it. You got to move this button out of the way and hold it back too at the same time. You got to hold all these things in place like that. Then with the other hand, push these ends through the hole. And they come up in the top and you have to grab them. Sometimes it's tricky. I got one of them. Oh, there's the other one. Okay, once you get them both, get them level, get them even, and pull them tight. And you pull them to where you have this one ladder that goes across the top. That's what you want. You pull them tight until that string is tight across the face of the rail, like that. Once you have it like that, then that button is ready to go back. So now what you can do is you can release that and you can hold the strings, which is a little tricky, but you can do it. And then you grab your button with your other hand. The button has two slots in it. If you get that string to ride into the slot, it'll go in real easy. The top one's easy to do, and then you got to roll it underneath to see the other string. Get it lined up in the notch. And once it's lined up, sometimes it goes easy, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, I think I'm lined up now. It'll push right in. Push right in. Now you can let go of the strings and give it a 2-thumb push. If it doesn't quite sit down like this one is not, then I give it a little encouragement with my little flowery hammer here. Isn't that cute? Just give it a tap, and now it's flush. Now, these are a little long, and they have to fit down in the tray, and so they don't need to be this long. But don't cut them too short either. Leave a couple of inches, and then just cut the tails off. That's all you gotta do. You do that for each one, so you have the other two to do as well. Now this one don't have the pressure strings, but it works the same way. You can grab these strings off the bottom and you can pull and push at the same time inside the track, and the buttons will come out. See? I just pulled the button out. And it does have the strings on it. I mean, you don't have the pulling strings going vertical. All they do is run through the button. I'm not really sure why. I don't think they really have to, but once again, you grab these two strings. Try to get the ends to line up, because then they might go through at the same time. You get them to go through at the same time. That's great. Some people use pliers to grab them and push them through. The hole's big enough though that you can get them through without using extra tools. Sometimes. Alright, got one of them to go through. The other one's right there. So I just use the screwdriver and pull the tail around where I can grab it with my hand. And there we go. and then you pull them. Pull them up until I gotta get it going in the right direction too. The ladder kind of turned on me, so you want the ladder to be level. Okay, one side's pulling more than the other one. Hold on here. There we go. Okay, so once you get them level, sometimes they take a little doing. I think I got it now. Again, you hold it with this finger, and then you line up the button. Get those little strings to go into the slots. I think I'm lined up. Well, one of them is. Okay. And then push the button in. Always like to give it a little tap. And then there it sits. And then you take these strings, cut the excess, leave a couple inches there. When you take the tails and you just throw it down in the rail trolley there, down in the space in the bottom. Let's line them up. Okay, I got one more to do over here on the end. Same thing. Oh, this one's coming out real easy. I didn't have to do nothing. It almost fell out. And you grab these. Yep, I got one of them. The other one fell out. Alright, there we go. Pull them level until you get the ladder to pull down flat across the bar. And once you get it where you need it, then you let your button, line your button up again, get those strings lined up with the notches. And it's easier to do these while they're hanging. If you take them down and lay them on a table, it's even harder because these strings are under pressure and you need something to pull against. And if you're on the table, you want to pull the blinds across the table and it doesn't work very well. I kind of had to do that in the kitchen and it was a big problem. Okay, this one's done. So now you just cut this extra tails there. All right, so now it should go up and down. Okay, and then you just do the reverse. You take this track that we pulled out of here. You'll see you just feed it back in there. There's a groove that it fits in. So as you're pushing it, what you're doing is you're tucking the strings down in the trough. And then the cross ladder string, you have to go under that one. Usually this will just go right across, but this one's got a piece of string in the way there. Alright, this one needs a little encouragement here. Let's see what's happening. The strings are kind of balling up there on the top of the button head, making it too high for the thing to go across. I don't think that thing's in the track right. Yeah, that would help. Get it in the track right. Okay. Now we're cooking with gas. Alright. You just continue to slide it. Here you got a tail sticking out. You just lay it down in there. Excuse me. And push across to the end. And then the cap goes on the bottom. And there you go. And now you don't have all these extra blind pieces stacking up here and rolling over and looking stupid. Now it only pulls down to here instead of down here. That took 5 slots out. That's how you do it. So now you can lift it up, set it in on the sill, and it looks nice. Nice and neat. Nice and, you know, how it should. And that's it. And you do that 10 times and you got the whole house done. So that was the last one. I just wanted to record the last one. So I've been doing this most of the day. But that's another DIY project. Appreciate you, and I hope maybe this is something you'd want to do yourself. It's not hard to do. Just be real careful not to cut those strings that are under pressure, because that'll be real tedious to try to fix that. So anyway, there you go. There you have it. Thanks for joining us.